Yo, what is going on, guys? Flashverse here, and welcome back to another video on the Flash Season 7. And for today's video, I have another Flash Season 7 Speed Force Theory video, and I will be talking about how Barry will become the original Speed Force and how this whole story with Barry and this new Speed Force is pretty much an endless loop for the show, so it will keep on happening. But something even more exciting than that, we are exactly a couple of hours away for the premiere of Superman and Lois. Yes, that is right. Superman and Lois will finally hit our screens in a couple of hours, and I couldn't be any more excited. Be on the lookout for my Superman and Lois review and breakdown, because I will be covering Superman and Lois when that begins to roll around. And obviously one thing to look forward to is that we have a 2-hour premiere day. The first hour will obviously be the Legacy of Hope special, where it's pretty much a documentary type episode where the cast and crew just talk about their favorite moments and like what they enjoy in general. And the cool thing about this is we have other cast members from other Arrowverse shows joining that as well. So like we have Grant Gustin, for example, we have Breck Bassinger, we have Javicia Leslie, we have Nicole Maines, and many more. And they will just be welcoming Superman and Lois into the Arrowverse, and they will talk about how excited they are for Superman and Lois to join the Arrowverse and become part of one of the Arrowverse shows, which is pretty cool to see. And then for the second hour, we will get the actual pilot for Superman and Lois, and I cannot wait to see what they have, because this show looks really good. From the trailers that we had, it looks so good, and I cannot wait to see it properly in just a couple of hours. But also, once Superman and Lois airs, that would make it so we are exactly 1 week away for the Flash Season 7 to hit our screens, which is very exciting. We are slowly getting the Arrowverse back together, which is just such great news. Obviously, so far we have Batwoman and Black Lightning. Tomorrow we are getting Superman and Lois, and next week we will be getting the Flash Season 7, and Supergirl, Stargirl, and Legends of Tomorrow is still to be announced. We do not have a release date for those just yet. Now, obviously during the Flash Season 7, we are expecting the new Speed Force, which will give Barry his speed back. And we will be sticking with this new artificial Speed Force from Season 7 onwards. So this does play a very integral part to the show going forward. Now for this theory, it is kind of time travel related, you could say, and it is, could Barry's new Speed Force potentially be the original Speed Force for Earth Prime? Or in other words, can Barry be the Speed Force itself as well? Now, although this sounds quite confusing when I first mention it, when I slowly start to explain it and start breaking it down, trust me, it will start to make a lot of sense. But before I go over anything, however, you guys, don't forget to drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. We are aiming to hit between 15,000 subscribers to 20,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Not sure if that is too much, but hopefully we can make it. Also make sure to subscribe to the channel so you are aware of more Arrowverse content coming your way, especially with the shows slowly starting to roll around. Now, so far on Earth Prime, we obviously had the death of the Speed Force, and although Barry still has some speed left, it's dwindling by every day that goes by. It isn't enough for Barry to continue becoming the Flash. As we found out in the trailer, by the time the Flash Season 7 picks up, Barry only has 1% of the original Speed Force left, and that is until he is completely powerless. So he could lose his speed given at any second. So if he loses his speed, he will be unable to save Iris, he will be unable to stop Eva, and even just become the Flash in general. He could not become the Flash and stop normal crimes from taking place in Central City. That is why he is so determined into creating this new artificial Speed Force, so he could get his speed back and continue becoming the Scarlet Speedster. Although Barry has been seen to be unsuccessful throughout the Flash Season 6 in regards to building the new artificial Speed Force by using Nora's journal, because we know the only speedster that was able to create their own artificial Speed Force was Eobard Thawne, aka the Reverse Flash, and Thawne taught Nora how to create an artificial Speed Force, and Nora basically noted that on her journal. So Barry uses Nora's journal as a guide to create his own Speed Force. but as we saw, he has been unsuccessful so far. However, we know that he will be able to get the new Speed Force to function by season 7, and if we go by my guess, I would say by the end of episode 1. Now, once again, if we do go by my theory, Barry will use that 1% of the Speed Force that he has left to run around the Speed Lab in order to power the artificial Speed Force machine, and as that happens, the new Speed Force would slowly start to connect with Barry, and Barry would get his speed back like that. So, as I said during the start of this video, this new Speed Force is something new being added onto the show, and it will most likely stay until the end of the show whenever that rolls around. Let's just say season 10. Now, for the ending scene of The Flash, the majority of the fans want to see Barry becoming the lightning that strikes him in the first place during that night when the particle accelerator exploded. Indeed, that was what happened in the comics, and it was quite different in the comics. Like, the whole particle accelerator thing didn't happen, but Barry does become the lightning that strikes him in the comics, which is why I think so many people want to see this ending scene. Now, although I told you guys I would absolutely hate that ending, mainly because I just don't like it when the show gets rid of their main character. Like Oliver Queen's death, for example, it was a really good death, it was a very emotional death, but I just don't like it when they kill off a main character, so I wouldn't like it if they kill off Barry. Although it would be very cool to see Barry becoming the lightning that strikes him, I wouldn't want to see that in my opinion. But if Barry does become the lightning that strikes him, that does play a very interesting theory for this video. So Barry will get his speed back during The Flash season 7, and he will be using the new Speed Force onwards. That technically now is where Barry gets his speed from, the new Speed Force. But if that ending scene does happen, if Barry does become the lightning that strikes him during the final season of The Flash, then that would mean that future Barry, with the new Speed Force in his system, strikes past Barry, or 2013 Barry. And if 2013 Barry got struck by that lightning, that would mean when past Barry wakes up from his coma during 2014, Barry would have the new Speed Force in his system, not the original one. Because the Speed Force is dead, the original Speed Force is dead, and it doesn't exist anymore. So for past Barry to get struck by the original Speed Force lightning that we saw during The Flash season 1 makes no sense at all, because that's how the original Speed Force was created. And as we know, due to Crisis on Infinite Earths, the Speed Force is dead. But if our Barry, with the new Speed Force in his system, strikes past Barry, and when Barry obviously becomes the lightning that strikes him, he disintegrates into the Speed Force lightning, and because of that, he becomes part of the Speed Force as well. And since this is a never-ending loop, where that 2014 Barry would then have the new Speed Force in his system, and he would live through the event our Barry lived in. However, this time, with the new Speed Force, technically, when past Barry comes across our season 6 timeline, he shouldn't lose his speed, because Crisis set up a whole new timeline, so the timeline we saw would be much different compared to Earth Prime 2014 Barry's timeline. So when he gets the new Speed Force, he shouldn't be losing his speed. For him, it should be normal. He should still be the Flash, unless they are able to come up with another reason for Barry to lose his speed, which forces him to create a new Speed Force, which, again, it wouldn't make sense. But he would then proceed to become the lightning that strikes him as well. So technically speaking, not only is this new Speed Force the original Speed Force in Earth Prime, but it is Barry as well, and that is what I mean by a never-ending loop. Now, if you guys didn't understand what I am saying over here, take Gideon for example. Now, Gideon is only in Star Labs because of Eobard Thawne. Eobard Thawne from the future brought Gideon to the past to guide him through his plans. So Gideon isn't built yet. We haven't seen Gideon become built yet. This version of Gideon that we have in the Time Vault is made in the future but brought into present day. So at that point, Barry didn't create Gideon yet. And the only reason Gideon still exists is because Barry will eventually create Gideon in the future. and Reverse Flash would bring that version of Gideon to the past. So just like Gideon, what if the new Speed Force is the original Speed Force in this timeline, and what if it is Barry as well? That does make a lot of sense when you think about it, and the way Barry Allen in the past gets the Speed Force is because our current Barry will eventually become the lightning that strikes him when the particle accelerator explodes. In my opinion, that makes a lot of sense, but be sure to tell me in the comment section down below what you guys think about this theory. But yeah guys, thanks for watching. If you guys have enjoyed the video, please give a like and subscribe. Yeah, I will see you guys in my Superman and Lois review and breakdown.